No surprises here. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show. It is great to be here with all of you. It is Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. The last month of this interesting year, to say the least. Very interesting year, and it just continues to get more and more interesting. By interesting, it's kind of my optimistic way to say it's been terrible on all aspects of Philadelphia sports, aspects of a lot of stuff going on, and we've been here to cover it. Month 6. 1 week away from our 6 months of running this show. It's been great. Have not missed a single day. Some days we've been very happy to be sitting here. Some days we've been very frustrated to sit here. But frankly, we're here with it. We are here to do all the covering, all the good, all the bad. But as always, first of all, joined alongside by my co-host, Gavin Tony. Gavin, how are you doing today? We got some Christmas spirit going from you. I got some fine decorations. It's like we're decorating a tree, decorating the overlays. We got some snowflakes up here. We got a Christmas tree down here. We got a Hanukkah menorah down here. We got to get some decorations as well for Kwanzaa. Keep mixing up, bringing in as much as we can, some New Year's celebration as well. But first of all, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Zach, I'm doing great. Like this comment says, the horrible performance of the Eagles last night. We're going to get to that. Just hold on. But Zach, I'm great. All right, it's December 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who may or may not know, Christmas is one of my favorite holidays. Actually, Zach, December is my favorite month of the year. Regardless, even though my birthday is in July. Zach, we got Hanukkah next week. We got Christmas 2 weeks now, 3 weeks now. And then we got Kwanzaa. And then New Year's. This year's been one hell of a year, even though the talk show started. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, I'm in a festive mood, even though
it is Eagles, but you know what? It's fine.
Nothing to be festive about. But damn it, it's December 1st. Zach, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. 1 year ago today, the Eagles lost to the Dolphins. Fun fact out there. Speaking of Miami, the Miami Heat released these absolutely phenomenal Miami Vice jerseys. I've already been very high on the Vice, not only because of the jersey.
It just got better.
But the court design, it just got 1,000 times better, and it was already great before. So I will be buying one. Gavin's rooting for me to get a Jimmy Butler jersey. I'm between that, Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Hero. I'm debating it. All I know is tomorrow pre-orders start. I'm really interested to get one. They are absolutely sick uniforms.
If you buy a Jimmy, whatever you buy, I'll get the dynamic deal. So you buy Jimmy, I'll get Bam. I actually do like those jerseys.
All right, it's a deal. I mean, no respect for Tyler Hero, though. But in all seriousness, exciting jerseys. Definitely some cool ones to take a look at. Of course, Miami will be a serious contender and a threat to my Philadelphia Sixers, so I got to be careful when I wear that thing. But it's just such a nice jersey, and I got such respect for that franchise and Jimmy Butler that it's kind of hard not to. But speaking of franchises that you're pleased with or not pleased with, let's get to our Philadelphia Eagles. It's been an absolute disaster, but as it says up in the description as I open up the show today, no surprises here. For the past 3 weeks, Gavin, there's been nothing new that we've learned. There is no reason to believe that this team can win a football game. There's no reason to. The defense has talent but is not schemed correctly. The offense doesn't have enough talent, isn't schemed correctly, and the quarterback is compounding the issues. Perfect example on that first drive last night, Gavin. First of all, the game starts with a penalty, 5 yards, 1st and 5. Bad play calling. Don't run the ball once. Bad talent. 2 drops. Quarterback compounding the errors, a missed throw on 3rd down. All right? All 3 of those things perfectly align on that first drive. All right? And the one drive of the night that was actually scored 2 of them, but one of them was a lucky Hail Mary. The one drive that actually was successful was when Carson Wentz got on the move. And I said that yesterday. I said if Carson Wentz can run efficiently, then we can win some of these games. And yes, they only threw it 41 times. I mean, it was an embarrassing pass per attempt or yards per attempt statistic last night, almost as bad as the Chicago Bears last year. This is an utter embarrassment. This is a Seahawks team that's been a punching bag of a defense. Now, credit Jamal Adams is healthier. Carlos Dunlap is getting into a groove. And they have a couple guys in their secondary back. So maybe the stats don't show the story, but he still should score more than 9 points. Again, I know they scored a touchdown late, but it doesn't count unless you bet on the game against the spread. And in that case, I'm sorry for those who unfortunately had that bet. But in all seriousness, the Philadelphia Eagles suffered another loss. Jeffrey Lurie, I can only imagine how ticked off he is. Doug Peterson, frankly, doesn't have any answers at this point. Carson Wentz doesn't have any answers at this point. It's a combination of everything. So here's the question. How do you fix it? The O-line will fix itself. Here's why. First of all, Jordan Mailata was the 3rd highest grade offensive lineman this week. He's been playing well. You have your left tackle solidified. All right. Isaac Seumalo's been a good player. He's a little banged up. Jason Kelce's a little off. I don't know if he's going to retire in this offseason. If he does,
He should. He should.
If he does, then we're going to have Isaac Seumalo slide over, and then you'll most likely see Andre Dillard play left guard, who's a first-round pick, who, for those who don't remember, played very well last year. On the right side, Brandon Brooks, the best guard in the game, and Lane Johnson, the best right side of the line. That is a top 5 offensive line. The offensive line will fix itself in the offseason. All right, I'm not worried about that. That is the biggest issue on this team. When you look at how the offensive line is ranked against how Carson Wentz plays, the correlation is so strong. They're the 28th ranked offensive line. They probably got worse last night. Carson Wentz has the most sacks in the league. Some of them are when he holds the ball for more than 4 seconds, but a lot of them aren't. A lot of them are hit early. And then, so that's the first issue. It will solve itself. The second is scheming and play calling. The most likely situation is that Doug Peterson will be the head coach next year. I know it sounds crazy, but it's Gavin. It's going to happen.
And this is where, go ahead.
It's not my opinion, but it's almost certain that he will remain the head coach. But Jeffrey Lurie will force him to give up play calling and bring in an offensive coordinator that can do the job and be good. Possibly a guy from Kyle Shanahan's tree or the Rams, somewhere like that, which actually utilizes the run. Frankly, I'd love to see Deuce Staley take the job, but I think we definitely should get another man that's plenty experienced who can give you the run-pass balance. So that's the second thing, the coaching. The third is talent. Howie Roseman's gone. I think he should stay as far as contract negotiating and cap situation. But I think when they terminate him, he's gone and he's done. They're going to bring in a new person the same way the Sixers did Daryl Morey. I know Elton Brand's still around technically, but he hasn't messed up anywhere near as much as Howie Roseman. DK Metcalf proved it last night. Jalen Reagor, Justin Jefferson. We already know that situation. Reagor can't run a disciplined route. Fulgham's been eliminated from the games. Jeffrey's irrelevant. The Philadelphia Eagles have failed to give Carson Wentz the talent that he needs to succeed, except for the 1 year that he was on his way to being MVP. Gavin, I told you last night, Carson Wentz is on his way to being a next Matt Stafford, a talented quarterback on a team that doesn't want to win. All right, and that's Jeffrey Lurie's job to prevent that from happening. You're going to have a good O-line next year. You have pretty damn good running backs in that backfield. Jordan Howard, I have no idea what we're going to do with him, but Miles Sanders is a legitimate top 5 possible running back. It is absolutely ridiculous that him and Boston Scott combined for 8 carries last night. Gavin, when the Eagles run the ball more than 25 times, they win about 95% of their games. Correlation is very strong. I pointed out 2 years ago. That's why when Nick Foles came in, they started winning because they actually ran the ball. Last year, they had 1 loss when they ran the ball more than 25 times. It was against the Detroit Lions, and they had 3 turnovers in that game. And then finally, the fourth element is quarterback play. If you get the O-line fixed, if you can bring in a wide receiver or 2, Zach Ertz, if he stays, and him, Dallas Goedert are healthy next year, even possibly Richard Rodgers, and you get an offensive coordinator who can develop the schemes correctly, Carson Wentz is going to be how far this team goes. His turnovers this year, about half of them are in what I'd call garbage time, where it's out of reach and he airs it out and he gets intercepted. Almost every fumble is when the game is still in reach, so that's a big issue. That's continued with him. And then the other interceptions are a mix of miscommunication. Last night, the interception was a miscommunication. He has not been terrible with the turnovers the past 3 games, but again, that's been a big concern. So if that continues to improve, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about overthrows. I'm worried about the fact that he's not going into his throws. He's throwing off his back foot, which is a cardinal sin for a quarterback. He is bounty in the pocket. That's improved a lot from the first few weeks when he was just standing there still. So obviously he's fixing something. But he's putting a lot of air under the ball because he's throwing off his back foot. That's it. Those are the 4 big issues. The offensive line is going to fix itself. The talent needs to be reevaluated and fixed. The coaching needs to be fixed. And the quarterback mechanically needs to fix himself. All right? But that's it. Those are the issues. That's all cut and dry. You fix the O-line, you get some wide receivers, you start having a run-pass balance, you're going to go 10-6. Again, I said this year, the Eagles will be lucky if they go 8-8. You can go back and watch the tape because they had an incredibly tough schedule, but I thought they would have won some games early in the year. We know they didn't. The schedule is getting tougher. You're going to Lambeau Field this week. You're going to be hosting New Orleans. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be, but they're still winning games. And you're going to have to play Dallas, which is looking a little bit better despite how they played against Washington. And then you're going to be playing Washington. This team will go 3-12-1. Maybe 4-11-1, but frankly, this has been a very bad year. This was a quote-unquote retooling year. The whole season should have been known as a disaster the day that Howie Roseman drafted Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson and the day that Brandon Brooks tore his Achilles. This team can't function otherwise. Here's what they do now. Stop trying to force Carson Wentz to become a magician. Take him out. Sit him down. Let him relax. Let him watch from the sideline. Let him see it from a coach's perspective and put Jalen Hurts in. If Jalen Hurts can have a little bit of success, it boosts his trade value to move him in the offseason. I find it unlikely. This is not going to happen, but if I was the head coach, if I was in charge of that franchise, I'm putting Hurts in. I'm going to very much simplify the playbook to make him look somewhat talented, which he is, and I try to trade him in the offseason. That was a terrible pick. It was a god-awful selection. You could have gotten Justin Jefferson in the first round, who was lighting up the league right now. He was the most pro-ready SEC caliber wide receiver in that draft. It was stupid. But again, out of all those issues, the very last one is quarterback. Okay? I'm not defending Carson Wentz. I'm the one right now that's saying he should sit down. But right now, what's going on is ridiculous. Your franchise quarterback, Howie Roseman, prematurely gave him a lot of money. They handled that situation. What I would have said back then was mature. You had a guy in Nick Foles, a guy in Carson Wentz, both talented quarterbacks, both have success with this team, and they decided to go with Carson Wentz. They solidify him. They move on from Nick Foles. Carson Wentz played good last year. Here's the deal. There are three big pivotal issues before we get to Carson Wentz. It doesn't mean I don't think Carson Wentz can't benefit from sitting down, relaxing, getting a good offseason, getting healthy, making sure he's strong. He's probably bruised up as heck right now. He is so mentally and physically tough. If you want to sit here and say he's not, that's wrong. You can say he's a pretty bad quarterback, but to absorb that many hits, Gavin, you see last night when that ball was snapped over his head, how he took it and threw it. It didn't make it to the line of scrimmage. The refs missed out on that one for a intentional grounding, but that's a pretty damn good play. Don't ever tell me or ever question that man's competitiveness, but you have to build the right pieces around him, or he's on track to be the next Matt Stafford, and we're on track to be the next Detroit Lions. Philadelphia, you're lucky you got that Super Bowl because, frankly, when Frank Reich left, all the creativity left. Gavin, you pointed that out before.
That Super Bowl don't mean a damn thing no more, though. That Super Bowl don't mean a damn thing.
Soon, unless some major changes are made. I think Jeffrey Lurie can make the right decisions. I don't know if he will, but we'll see how it plays out in the offseason. We got 4 more weeks of this brutalness, and then it's all over.
First of all, Zach, that Super Bowl don't mean a damn thing no more. All right, we need to throw that in the garbage, in my honest opinion, because some people still believe they're Super Bowl champions. We sat here and we criticized the hell out of Orlando Scandrick before we even started the show. Zach, you remember that? We criticized the hell out of Orlando Scandrick. Talk about he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know this. He doesn't know that.
Well, there's some truth to that. There's always some truth to rumors. Remember that saying. There's always some truth to rumors.
There's exactly. And here's where I disagree with you, right? When it comes to Doug Peterson, he needs to go, right? Jim Schwartz, even though he held the Seahawks to 20 points, he needs to go. And Howie Roseman should get a split kick in the you know what, and he sure as hell should go.
That's what should happen. I don't think that Doug's going to be fired after this season.
And let me go. Let me go down the list, Zach. Let's go back to 2 years ago. 2 years ago. On the board, DK Metcalf was on the board still, right?
Twice. Passed on. Well, actually, you passed on 3 times for Andre Dillard, Miles Sanders, and then JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Which were the hell? I mean, why draft an Ole Miss wide receiver who's had a very great year, who's big, who's talented, and can learn how to be a good receiver instead of some guy from Stanford? I know disrespect to Stanford. Zach Ertz came from there. Andrew Luck came from there. Christian McCaffrey came from there.
You saw it happen to Andrew Luck. You saw it happen to Andrew Luck. All right, he
never had bad talent. That Carson Wentz is the next Andrew Luck if he keeps getting hit like this. This is ridiculous. Don't tell me he's injury prone. He's been hit so many times this year. He hasn't been down once. He is not injury prone. He has had a few bad breaks with this football team. Frankly, they messed up when they rushed him back week 3 against the Colts a couple years ago. That's kind of where they went wrong. And again, they don't run the ball. It's the most simple, basic concept in football. It should be at least 35, 40% of your game plan.
Well, Zach, too, going back to the draft. Go back to this year, right? Justin Jefferson is the obvious choice, genius.
He's right there.
You don't want Justin Jefferson. Why don't you take Patrick Queen, who was also there? No, we're going to take this guy out of TCU. Out of all places, you take a kid from TCU. Guess what? Jalen Rager's probably a nice guy. And if he watches this, I don't hate you, Jalen Rager. I really don't. But damn it, you were not the pick that we needed here.
We needed a disciplined route runner.
Hold on, Zach. And then you go in the second round, you go get Jalen Hurts? For what? For what are you getting Jalen Hurts for? You just
2 snaps a game?
How about you get some damn help? Oh, and by the way, we keep forgetting like Marquise Goodwin. It didn't just opt out, which he had the right to, because that NFL has failed multiple times on the protocol.
He's not the cleanest route runner, though. We know that he's not going to. He's a burner. He's not a route runner.
He's not going to say. He's not going to say the issue. If you thought bringing back Deshaun Jackson was going to fix some problems,
Jason Peters. I said before the season.
And also too. Alshon Jeffrey needs to get the hell out of Philadelphia too, because you know why, Zach? He doesn't like he wants to play football no more. See, guy, Zach Ertz, you can't take a hit to save your life, nor can you block somebody. So the fact that you want to sit here and ask for some money, take a hit and block some people first, and then talk to me about some money. And then how about this, Zach? Let's get on the offensive line. Jason Peters, what the hell are you robbing us for? Stop hoodwinking us and stop robbing us.
I mean, I don't understand what
you can't stay in for more than 5 plays without getting hurt. And I'm not wishing injuries on the bodyguard, but he doesn't look like a bodyguard anymore. He looks like a bum that keeps getting hurt, and he needs to sit down. Zach, I said this multiple times before off the show. I said, Zach, when they won the Super Bowl, Jason Peters should have sat his ass down and not came back. ride off into the sunset like Peyton Manning did. Well, guess what?
But he's had a good career. He's hurting his Hall of Fame chances right now.
Exactly. And then wait a minute, Zach. And then we talk about Jason Kelsey. He thought he could have one more shot. Last year, he didn't look as good. By the way, Zach, did you know that Jason Kelsey and Sayamahu, or when they had, excuse me, not Sayamahu, when they had Wisniewski, Jason Kelsey and him and Wisniewski were actually killing the screen game, even though you don't have Steven Wisniewski no more, but you still have Jason Kelsey, and you can.
When was the last time they've thrown a running back screen? That works.
No, don't worry about it, because you don't do screens no more. By the way, so that's just the general manager side. Let's go to Jim Schwartz. Even though last night he only gave up 20 points to the Seahawks. Good job, Jim Schwartz. You want a cookie? Hell no, you don't get a cookie, because this defense is your fault. Zach, what is this defense they're playing? They're playing soft defense out here.
They played pretty aggressive last night.
Okay, last night.
But the only thing that went wrong was your best corner got beat by their best receiver, which happens.
He manned up to it. He said,
but the lack of talent there, the lack of scheming, it's been bad. I do want to read here quickly from November 4th of 2019. The Eagles' decision to not trade for a wide receiver or pick up Josh Gordon was based on the belief Deshaun Jackson will be back and healthy. The fact that this team depends on a 32-year-old and injured wide receiver to fix all their woes shows that all the problems this team has. This was over a year ago that I tweeted this. I knew then that this team has a problem with being connected to old guys, and they failed to fix that in the offseason. The only old guy you got rid of was Malcolm Jenkins, arguably your most efficient safety.
And by the way, I wouldn't have got rid of Malcolm Jenkins. He just wanted money. I
don't understand this.
Zach, another thing, too, you could have had Antonio Brown. I know I'm not fond of Antonio Brown, but damn it, something's better.
You could have gotten Robbie Anderson. I was tweeting last year about this. It's amazing what happens when you run the ball.
And then also, too, Zach, now let's go on Doug Peterson, shall we? Let's do it. You are a coach. Work with what you have. He has 15 interceptions and 45 sacks, and Lord knows how many times he got hit, and how many times he's been hurried. Lord knows only that stat, Zach. I didn't care to look up that stat because I was more pissed off about the first two I just gave you right there. So what do? Instead of getting the ball out of what made Tom Brady great for the past 2 to 3 years? They got quicker early. They did drag routes and screens. Now, there was a play last night that was really bad where Carson Wentz doing the double coverage and almost got picked off, where he did have 2 people. Oh, he had 3 people open. He had option 1 on one side, option 2 on the other, and then he had the.
And he's going to do that. It compounds the errors when you have the previous issue, so it makes Carson's mistakes look even more magnified. But every quarterback does.
And Doug Peterson, if you, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, how close can you look at your playbook and still not figure out that there's something wrong? What makes Julio Jones so great, Zach? What made Michael Thomas so great, Zach? What makes DeAndre Hopkins so great? They do these routes that aren't just running straight and doing something. They get open quickly. Julio, it
takes receivers on the Eagles for at least 4 seconds to get open. There was no one open last night. They showed it. They showed
it. If you know your offensive line sucks, why are you running these complicated plays?
Patrick Mahomes wouldn't have much of a better record.
Nobody's going to get open. Jalen Reagor, I don't give a damn about his speed. Guess what, Zach?
Can't get open.
He can't get open.
They're locking him up. They're playing press coverage on him, and it's working.
He can't get open to save his life. And anyone that sat there and criticized me earlier before we start the show about when they drafted Jalen Reagor, look who's the fool now. Look at Justin Jefferson. He's gritty dancing in the Vikings. He's making Kirk Cousins.
He was wide receiver 1 for them this past week, and he carried them.
He brought them back in the game by himself.
There was no Adam Thielen this week. He was being covered by cornerback 1.
And guess what? He destroyed cornerback 1.
This team ever could have made.
This team. And by the way, Jim Schwartz, you need to shut your damn mouth next time when you talk about DK Metcalf, because he went for 177 on you. Russell Wilson throwing nobody else.
He really didn't. Lockett wasn't really the big of a factor. David Moore, who had a touchdown, actually had negative yards on the game, but not a lot of fun happening with this Philadelphia Eagles football team right now.
Don't.
It was December, and the Eagles hat wasn't on for long. We're going to have to get Gavin. For those out there who are giving out Christmas hats, Gavin's going to need a non-Eagles one, possibly a Miami Vice one. That'd be kind of cool.
I'll be sick. I would be interested in that.
But in all seriousness right now, I've defended Carson Wentz a lot in the past. Therefore, I feel the need to give him criticism when it does. Last night, Carson Wentz, not much criticism. 3 bad throws. 3 bad throws that don't lose you the game. The inability to get open for a receiver, the inability to screen the ball. You were only down by 2 possessions for a few minutes, and you ran the ball 8 times. If you want to put Jalen Hurts in, go, he's going to get eaten alive out there. I don't understand what to do. I don't know what we're supposed to do. This is a terrible football team with bad. They don't have enough talent. Not enough talent. The coaching's even worse, and the O-line, which will fix itself, is terrible. And all of that combines with the quarterback playing terrible.
Second, you talk about
if he had Odell Beckham, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and Jarvis Landry, and he was
damn, they're making Baker Mayfield look like he deserves money. That's the problem. They're making him look like he deserves money.
The point is that Baker Mayfield is not playing great football with that team sometimes, especially last season. He had talent. Carson Wentz is struggling, and he doesn't have talent. There's a difference here. All right? When a quarterback is struggling with talent, then you can start saying, okay, maybe you're the problem. All right? And even Mayfield, who's not a great quarterback at all, he's small. He's not doesn't have the strongest arm. He's definitely got some attitude problems that have gotten him in some trouble. They're 8-3 right now because they run the ball. They get it out of his hands. And they have a lot of talent.
Mayfield didn't throw a touchdown pass until last week, Zach. By the way, if I may add, real quick, this. Did you know that when I look at the Eagles, right, and you talk about game manager at best, Carson Wentz is not a game manager. He's a guy that can go out and make plays. But it's hard to make plays when
there's no one to make plays to.
There's a person in his face. Doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense.
I don't know how you can watch that game last night and your first instinct is putting Jalen Hurts. I just don't get it.
What the hell is
I don't know how you can, as a person that knows the sport of football, I am not sure how you can watch and put that in the comments if anyone wants to debate with us. I'll bring you on. Let me know how you watched that game last night and you say put Jalen Hurts in for the reason of punishing Carson Wentz for bad play. And if you want to say, we'll get turnovers or 3 bad throws last night, look at that pick. I'm pretty sure Dallas Goedert misread something. And there's a phone.
And the phone agrees with us. Zach, let me just add this in here. Anyone wants to come on and debate us about this, that's fine. If anyone thinks that Jalen Hurts can do better than what the hell we're seeing, remember, ladies and gentlemen, Carson Wentz got sacked over 45 times, and that's 15 interceptions. What the hell is a rookie going to do? Explain to me that. Explain. I genuinely want to know. The Eagles had, all right, Zach, it's December 1st, and like I said, this is one of my favorite months, but the hat is off already. The hat is off. I'm upset. And the fact that there's a chance that Doug Peterson's going to be here next year, but even if Jeffrey Lurie's upset and pissed off, do you really think Jeffrey Lurie wants him here next year? I sure as hell don't. I might riot. I might just riot. It might be a one-person riot if Doug Peterson here next year. I might just riot.
There's not much to say. This has been a bad football team all year. No offensive coordinator this year, and it gets even worse. The one time it was good, you had Frank Reich here. There's a reason Indianapolis is in second place right now with a 7-4 record. And they don't have the most talent on that team. Michael Pittman, T.Y. Hilton, they're good complementary receivers. Jonathan Taylor's a great running back, obviously. Naeem Hines is a good complementary back. The defense is great, but the bottom line is you can make it work with a level of talent that they have. Eagles don't have enough talent. They don't have.
Have you seen how Michael Pittman gets open? He does drag routes, Zach. He
could have drafted him.
And Phillip Rivers, with the world's worst throwing style ever, is able to hit him. Unbelievable.
The point is, it doesn't take a lot to make Carson Wentz succeed. Just run the ball and make it simple. Watch the plays from 2017. Mechanically, he's off. He's throwing off his back foot. That's a mechanical thing that somebody needs to sit down and work with him on. But there's a lot more to the problem than just that. And you can see, putting Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes will have one more win, maybe 2 more wins. Mahomes has a great O-line. Mahomes has phenomenal talent. Mahomes has some good running backs. He's got a great head coach, great offensive coordinator. All right?
They brought back everybody. They even said, Zach, that's how good the Chiefs are, right? They called Patrick Mahomes on draft and they said, hey, Pat, our pick's coming up. What do you want? I want Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And what did they do? They got him Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He didn't.
And the Eagles got Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts.
If Patrick Mahomes needed a wide receiver, do you really think Patrick Mahomes would have asked for Jalen Reagor?
I don't think so.
Jefferson. I'll leave that.
This has been an absolutely disastrous season. There's not much here to look at.
I can't wait for it to be subpar. I seriously can't wait. I'm watching Christmas movies now, Zach. I seriously, I don't. Sunday, I don't turn on the Eagles team no more.
They're in Lambeau Field. I was there last year. They won, but last year we were shouting MVP in the crowd for Carson Wentz. What's changed? Well, I don't know. They ran the ball like 29 times that game. Maybe there's a correlation.
Jordan Howard had 3 rushing touchdowns for crying out loud.
3 total, 3 touchdowns. Miles Sanders had some good runs in that game. There's an incredibly strong correlation between when you win a game. Name any game right now, and I'll see if I know off the top of my head from last season. Name any game.
Let's go Buffalo Bills from last year because I remember that game.
They ran nonstop. Jordan Howard almost had a 100-yard game. Miles Sanders ripped off that long touchdown.
Exactly. And Let's go to Boston. Let's go to not Boston. Let's go to the Giants. The week 17. Boston Scott ran him over.
Boston Scott got like 20 plus touches. Miles Sanders
Sanders
early in the game, but Miles Sanders. I'm sorry, Boston Scott was the NFC Player of the Week that week. They ran screens in that game. The Cowboys.
If you want to get technical, let's go to the pivotal NFC East game from last year versus the Cowboys, where Miles Sanders ran all over the Cowboys, ran the ball down,
and then split at the end of the game to end it. And they ran screens in that game.
Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Peterson, as deep as you look in the equipment, as close as you hold the paper to your face, you would think you that has glasses on out often could see that you need to run the damn ball. Maybe I need to give you an EpiPen so you're not allergic to it or something, or you need to take a test.
It's the same thing. We talk about the same thing every day. We're spot on with this analysis of this football team.
And for guys like Max Kellerman, just shut up, man. You sound idiotic on national television. And I like Max Kellerman too, but that doesn't that you got.
I haven't found many takes I agree with him on. Tom Brady falling off a cliff.
I mean, there's.
I'm trying to find one. I mean, both sides always find some ways to agree.
Exactly. Zach, like this is ruining what's been going on. Like seriously, Zach, the definition of this season is what the hell is going on.
Well, we know what's going on. Not enough talent, bad play calling. This team could be a 7-9 team. That's good enough to go.
This team should have been a 9-7 at least.
There's a lot of pivotal games they've let slip by, and they've been broken. They are a broken football team. And again, even the Bears have more offensive talent than the Eagles.
No.
Allen Robinson, Anthony Miller.
Okay.
Their O-line is ranked better than the Eagles.
That's fair.
Their defense is better than the Eagles. They're a better football team.
On paper, it should be the other way around. On paper.
I'd take Khalil Mack over any of our defensive players in all
honesty. Of course. And by the way, big flex. What the hell? You pick and choose when you want to play? You pick and choose when you want to do something?
Derek Barnett, credit to him, though. He had a couple big tackles last night.
Yeah, credit to Derek Barnett. Last year, he was unnecessary roughness on late hits. Now this year, he wants to do something. But that's not my criticism.
Tim led the team in tackles last night. I'm pretty sure he's had a pretty good year.
That's true. But also, Zach, too, you talk about, and then this is why I want Howie Roseman fired, too. You know you need linebackers. You don't do anything.
They got Davion Taylor, Sean Bradley. They don't use them.
Hold on, Zach. You know you need wide receivers. No Justin Jefferson. No DK. No. Hell, hold on. Wait a minute. Let me relax. Not even DeAndre Hopkins.
You could have drafted Zach Bond in the second round instead of Jalen Hurts.
Chase Claypool was there. Even though Chase Claypool 2 times. Even though Chase Claypool has cooled off recently, Zach, anything's better than what the hell you just drafted. JJ Arcega-Whiteside can't catch anything but the virus. And I'm not trying to make a joke about the virus, but Zach, you know how we feel about that. And then you got Jalen Reagor, who can't get open unless he's running away from nothing because he's not open. Everybody wants to talk about this elite speed. Oh, this speed. Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? That speed don't mean a damn thing if you're not open. It really doesn't. It don't mean a damn thing.
Especially when nobody can get open. Where's Travis Fulgham?
I don't got much more to say. And you were
outcoached, outplayed, out-talented. There's not much new.
Outcoached, damn it. Outcoached.
Every week.
That's a poor coach.
Undefeated against the Philadelphia Eagles in his time in the NFL. Final question of the day, is Russell Wilson still not in the MVP conversation, or has he found a way to slowly creep back into it?
He had multiple bad weeks, Zach, and being up on a depleted team like this is not going to bring you back in.
And it was only 23 points. It was not much.
Exactly. Right now, I think that when it comes to MVP race, I think I look at Pat Mahomes as a clear number one. Maybe Derrick Henry number two. And go from there.
Yeah, I mean, Russell Wilson, it's a shame. He had a really strong start, has fallen off a little bit. I know, and him and Aaron Rodgers, the reason I get so frustrated about no help. I mean, we went one of the Packers receivers yesterday. DK Metcalf is on his way to be the leading receiver this year, and he's had a hell of a year. Eagles could have him, but a couple more weeks of the season, we're gonna have to see how it plays out. Wonder if
I'm putting Christmas movie on every Sunday.
Some offseason moves will be made, but other than that, Eagles play the Packers next Sunday in Lambeau Field. Going to be a disaster. I'm about losing to us last year. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers will let up the Eagles.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do got some exciting news because it feels like it's been nothing but negativity on my end. Do you know who won in fantasy this week?
Oh, that's right. He beat me. My team was projected to win by 30. And
Wait,
I found a way to lose,
did y'all see
unfortunately.
that?
So,
Did y'all see? Okay, never mind. Forget it. I won, ladies and gentlemen. The 3-7 team gap
we
beat
split the season series at 1-1.
1-1.
I'm still gonna be in the playoffs. That's all right.
You are going to play. Shout out to the dude that dropped Josh Allen, by the way.
No idea why someone would do that. But with that being said, buddy, tonight was supposed to be Ravens Steelers. It will be apparently played tomorrow. I doubt it will happen. All three quarterbacks for the Broncos that were placed on the COVID list have tested negative. So, take from that what you will. Gavin, anything else you want to say?
Yeah, real quick on that Steelers players. You need to chill out. You need to really shut up and chill out. Once again, Zach, on social media yesterday, they're on social media complaining about one play. But Zach, I get the aspect of wanting to play, and I get that this happened to you before. But remember, it's the bigger picture. You guys are sounding like a bunch of selfish babies about the cancellation. I get it. I totally get it. You guys want to play.
Social media is dangerous though for a lot of these guys.
It's the bigger picture, Zach. You got to think of the bigger picture.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for joining us. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Have a good one, everybody.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. In addition, hit that bell icon and set it to all to get reminded of when we go live and when we post excerpts of our videos. Again, thanks for watching.